Okay, so we've just eaten at Ma's. We had our Charles Poliquin style breakfast, which is after hydrating, which is local fruit. We tried to eat. There are some. Charles Poliquin does nuts. He varies the type of nuts he eats, so he doesn't develop sensitivities. And then it's a meat of any or a protein of any type, right? So we had some frittata, and we had some sliced meat. And the idea is we're going to try to change where we eat every single day, so that you can start to see it's a pattern. It's an eating pattern. So Charles Poliquin says the secret to his success is a big breakfast, right? Because you need energy, right? You need some good energy, and so you eat the meal from most liquid to most solid, and then immediately we're moving, right? So we ate, and then they say 100 steps. The man who takes 100 steps after he eats lives to 100, something like that. So the whole point is you eat, and then you put that energy, the stuff you just ate, you put it to work. So we just bike down, right? So now we're in Newport Harborside Marina, and now we're gonna just go through a rotation of exercises and movements and getting some touches. And this is not the best. This is not a world-class training routine. This is what's left. This is what I'm doing after 27 years of training, former college coach, former college player. It's like, this is what I wish I knew going into freshman year in high school, freshman year in college. So it's not about using as many tools as possible, and it's not even about the tools themselves. It's about getting yourself, right? I'm thinking about staying relaxed, breathing. I'm thinking about sun protection, and then I'm thinking about just having some fun, right? Seeing where the tension is in my body, seeing is my touch crisper than yesterday? Is it sharper than yesterday? Do I feel more explosive? And just being aware of how I feel as I'm flowing through the exercises and staying relaxed. Okay, let's do it. if you go to any local hardware store and you say, "Do you have RMT ropes?" They're gonna say, "I have no idea what that is." So you tell them that all you want is you say, "Do you have any soft rope?" Say, "I need a piece of soft rope a little bit longer than I am tall." Right? So you get your soft rope, and there's different patterns. Right? So the founder, David Weck, he said if you could only learn one pattern with the RMT rope, it looks like this. It's called the alternating underhand sneak. And what it does is it helps it makes you more dangerous on the field. And it does that because it develops an awareness of your body, a deeper awareness of your body in an effortless way. And it does this because your body's connected from fingers to toes. So as you swing this rope in rhythmic circles, you bend and twist your spine while breathing. So it develops a fluidness that's hard to imitate without. I feel like you have some technical movement skills, right? Like there's Pilates and there's Tai Chi and there's a lot of different fields of movement when you learn specific skills, capoeira, dancing, right? So there's a lot of kind of technical skills in ballet, in yoga that take time to learn. But the beauties with the RMT rope is that once you start swinging it, it teaches, right? The rope becomes the teacher, and as you swing it, you kind of feel in a low impact way the benefits without words. So what's the point? What's the point? Well, the point is that a lot of people they spend so much time and energy going to and from the gym, right? I used to spend so much time doing bodybuilder workouts, squatting, deadlifting, XYZ. You think, okay, you spend an hour at the gym, that actually turns into 3 hours because you think the time it takes to get there, and then maybe you shower before or you shower after. So it kind of takes up this whole gap. It creates a huge time commitment if you really think about it. Meanwhile, right, if you take on the other end of the spectrum, you get a soft piece of rope, $10, less than $10, everywhere you go, you bring it with you to the field, to the park, to the gym, Christmas, vacations, holidays, to work, and as you swing it, it's passive, effortless strength and movement training that's super transferable to the soccer field because it improves your running technique, it's going to prevent injuries, it's going to help you run faster, jump higher, right? Because the more aware you become of your body, then the better that you can control it. So the whole point is that you don't need to learn all these different patterns to start. All you need to be able to do is just swing it. Then you get into one-legged balance. You start to develop dynamic balance. So balance in different ranges of motion. So you're here, or you're here. You could go two hands. You could go one hand. Right. So you're just playing around with it. Right. So sometimes I'll by accident bonk myself in the head. That's okay. You just keep on moving, breathing. So you're here. You could go high. Right. Get range of motion in the shoulders. Right. Range of motion in the shoulders. What's that boxer's name? Floyd Mayweather. He likes to go underneath the leg. You could go behind the back. I releases tension in my back. Right. So there's a lot of patterns that as you just start swinging it, you just begin to feel where tension is in your body, and it's effortless strength through motion. Right. You could get into the Buddy Lee skips, different type of skip combinations. Right, so it's just so versatile, and you don't even need a rope, right? You could cut up a piece of towel at home. You could use a tie, a men's tie. I've used a cord, an iPhone charger cord when I didn't have anything else. Whatever you could think of, you can use. Well, as long as you're being safe, but right, you can be creative with the tool. It's not about the tool. It's about, I guess, the idea, right? That anywhere you are, you could grow your game in an effortless and joyful way, right? Move the body. When you move the body, you move the mind. right? If your mind is clouded, if you're mad, if you're anxious, if you're tired, if you're lonely, if you're scared, if you just don't feel good, you'll find that if you test this, you swing this a piece of rope or start moving for 60 seconds, it's hard to be in a bad mood. So, okay, that's my rant. And I just noticed one thing, way back into the rant. I just noticed when I started doing this alternating underhand sneak, my juggling improved, which improved.
What the hell are you doing?
What's up, gang?
What's going on?
How are you?
Good.
I just noticed that my juggling improved, which improved my dribbling, which improved my passing and my shooting, and yet my total daily training time, I used to spend like hours at the gym, getting there, procrastinating, doing all the stuff that didn't matter. Yet now my daily training routine is like I wish it should be more like at least an hour a day, and it's not even at 15 minutes at this point. Yet I feel, you know, you can move in an effortless way, and I think this is something that no one's talking about. So try it out, test it out. Okay. Next, we're messing around with this parabol. This parabol, right? Similar idea. Right, you're swinging, breathing, moving, bending and twisting the spine. Okay, let's see. Good angle right there. Okay. So this one's nice because you feel this traction. It tractions the shoulder complex. It makes you, right, you can get into one-legged balance. You're bending and twisting the spine, breathing. And you could really feel it tugging at that shoulder. But in a relaxed, in an effortless way, right? It's motion traction. You're strengthening while you're restoring at the same time. There's not a lot of tools and exercises that do that, and this is one of them. And you want to make sure with the parabol that you've created some knot ties so that you can do a one-handed swing that's going to traction out the shoulder so that you don't clip the ground, right? Because even with a right lean, I can clip the ground, but if I stand straight up, I won't clip it doing one arm with one arm. So this is a subtle aspect of this training tool that I think isn't clearly defined that can help you grow your movement and your game and your life. Okay, the parabol. What do we have next? I gave away my kick trainer before, so now let's get right into some. Right, we're thinking about underscore ty.fitness underscore. I can't do his around the world circles with the feet yet, but I can do some two thighs, two right thigh, two left thigh combination. That's one of my favorite combinations. Then I'm trying to get better. Okay, let's go. my strategy as a child that it took me too long to articulate is keep it up with your thighs, and if you have to pop it down to your feet, or if it drops down to your feet, that's okay, pop it back up to your thighs. And I've just noticed that as your thigh juggles increase, right, you're working your endurance, you're working your timing, your rhythm, and your balance, and maybe that fast twitch to get that thigh up. So I think this is going to translate to improved feet touches with the feet. Ah. And you don't have to use a tennis ball, whatever ball you have access to. So if you're just getting started, a ball of any size, right? They say make skills easy, make strength hard. Bouncy ball, hacky sack, right? A balloon. You gotta make it a progression. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, now we're gonna go right into, I think of when I'm going into dribbling sequences, I like to place them behind juggling, and I like to place juggling behind using a kick trainer. We don't have a kick trainer, so I went, right, it's body weight, transition to body, from going from breathing to body weight to tools to kick trainer, right? So it's ball striking, juggling, dribbling sequences, and then when I'm in dribbling sequences, I think about two patterns. I think about the Tom Turnbull dribbling sequence: outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. You're repeat this over and over and over as you're saying it out loud. When you say it out loud and go slowly, not only will speed come later, but when you say it out loud, you internalize it. It helps develop that mind-body connection. You'll notice that it's hard for a person to think of something and write something out, or write something else out at the same time. It's possible, but you'll notice if someone triggers your mind with words, and you're either writing or typing, that you'll start to write what you hear. So the whole point is that saying it out loud while you're doing it is very powerful, especially if you're looking to improve dribbling fast. Right? In games, you're not going to be saying outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. But what I've started to see is that if you teach this to players, they will do that combination on the field without realizing it. So I learned this 27 years ago, and this is still relevant to this day, right? I'll still be doing it close to almost every single day. Now the second sequence is the Fanta Sista Mickey, FANTA SISTA MICKEY on Instagram. Check them out. And this one's interesting because it allows you to do things that the Tom Turnbull sequence can do. And in my mind, I fell in love with that Tom Turnbull sequence because it's the one I had known, but it took me 27 years to really come around to thinking maybe this isn't the only best one to know. So I really like this sequence because it almost looks like a dance or a jig, but let me show you why it's so powerful. Okay, so it goes step, step, then behind the back, right? So then you do it in reverse. Step, step, behind the back. Step, step, behind the back. Step, step, behind the back. Watch the hands. Watch what the hands are doing. So step, step, you're almost running, right? It's almost running in place. So it just translates to it just flows right into the ball. Step, step, behind the back. Step, step, behind the back. And then you want to stay relaxed, breathing. And then this is where the magic happens, right? So then you go, right, as you begin to feel the power, as you begin to, your central nervous system, as your body begins to familiarize yourself, as you become more comfortable with this sequence, this is what's going to be able to happen. This is what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to go step, step here, and then pivot, right? So it's this pivot motion. Now you can see, you basically go from seeing, right, your peripheries, you see the whole field, but then in 2 seconds you change the whole angle. So now you're getting rapid screenshots of where everyone is in the field in an effortless pivot, right? So going from here to here, right, is a nice way that you can just scan, right? So your scan, and then, so I don't know if you could only choose one, I don't know which one's better, to be honest. But they say there's a Bruce Lee quote that goes, the man who practices 1,000 kicks, Bruce says it's something to the degree of, I fear not the man who practices 10,000 kicks, I fear the man who practices one kick 10,000 times. So just pick one sequence and then master it for 60 seconds a day, 16 days straight, builds a habit, and then spend 1 minute a day for the rest of your life on the sequence. And then when you're ready, learn the other one too, right? So it's like a fastball, master a fastball, and then learn a slider, or learn the changeup. Oh, and I've been thinking about this too. You go step, 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 but instead of just a step, you start to develop this roll, right? Because you're here, 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 and then you actually roll. You roll here into this step, into the back step, and roll. So it's this roll. It's this reverse roll that I really started thinking about. Is some of the power because it's this pivoting of the foot, and then so it's like roll, roll, step, roll, roll, step, roll, roll, step instead of step, 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 step. That transfers to roll, roll, step, roll, roll. It's this fluidness, right? And it mirrors the fluidness of it mirrors the fluidness of the rope flow, right? So you're swinging the rope around, then you're swinging the parabol, then you're doing the juggling, right? So I used to juggle and I had no thoughts about what my hands were doing. My hands were, I don't know what they're doing. They might have been here, whatever. But now you notice when I try to juggle, right, opposite arm, opposite leg, kind of that counterbalance. Mom's calling. Okay, let's pick it up. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.